Hello all, this is Anigato in the garden, and I apologize for the background noise, but one of the neighbors is getting some major renovations done on their house, and they're going to be doing it all week long. Don't ask me why, it's the middle of Corona season, so, social distancing, but apparently it's essential work. So, we're going to start over here with the apple tree and a background shot of my, nothing's happened yet, aquaponics system. The apple tree itself, I have had to cut a couple of branches off, just entire branches, because of aphids. But they were the kind of branches that were coming onto the inside and not really doing a whole lot of good. You can kind of see the cut here and here. They weren't helping the tree fill out any, and the tufts, that's what I'm going to have to call this, these ends here, they were just completely covered with aphids, and the neem that I had at the time was about a year old and just didn't work, even when reconstituted, so yeah, just had to go through and replace it, which I've done. This flower stalk thing, I have no idea what it is. I know I planted it, and it's got some flowers around the bottom, which are obviously a different species entirely, but whatever. Everything just got sprayed down really good with a BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, and neem oil combo, so yeah. The asparagus is shooting. That really tall frond right there that's just starting to bush out was 6 inches 2 days ago. So now it's about 2 feet tall. I swear if I put a camera out here and put it on a time lapse, you could just watch it grow. Let's see, ornamentals back here. Planted spinaches in, and I think I'm starting to see, no, that's a daffodil, but that right there looks like a spinach. And over here, I might be starting to see some onions come in, I might not, kind of hard to tell. One thing I am able to tell is that these beds definitely hold moisture a lot better now that they are deeper. I still have dry spots in the back 6 inches or so on both beds, but that's easy enough to get moist and keep moist. Okay. These beets are coming up, so I might have to go through and thin them here in a little bit. Definitely need to do some weeding. Let's see, ornamentals. These, I believe they're supposed to be beets as well, coming up in spaces, weirdly. I'm guessing because, again, the back 6 to 8 inches gets drier faster with the way the rain falls onto it. So, but the front stays moist. Wake up in the morning and it's got a good dark brown hue to it. You can tell that it's just gotten moist overnight just from dew, and it stays pretty dark brown most of the day, so it's staying moist during the day. I believe there's supposed to be turnips in there. I'm not seeing anything yet, but maybe, no, not yet. Okay, I'm going to come across a little raised bed here. So the tomato is trying to get out of its cage. I'm going to have to do a little bit of training on that to get it to stay in the cage properly, but I'm not too worried about that. The tomato back there, the other volunteer tomato back in the back, doesn't look like it's doing very well. I could probably move it if I wanted to. Right now I don't really want to. Just spotted on the pepper. Can't tell if you can tell, see them right there, but little tiny pepper bombs. So it's going to try to throw flowers here very shortly. Hopefully I get something out of it. The celery that was here rotted away. I'm not overly surprised by that. The onions. This onion here, not doing too badly. It's got burnt tips, probably from the fact that it were hit in 90s again. This onion back here, if you can just see it, is looking not as great, but that's mostly because it got crushed when the vines came down. So, this onion ain't doing anything. If it just rots away, it just rots away, and that's fine by me. I'm not really picky about that. I don't see any signs of the acorn squash coming up. But like I said, the seeds didn't look great in the first place. So let's see. These bush beans are looking much worse for the wear. But if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. That's fine. I am seeing, let's see. Yeah, that one right there. That's a pumpkin that I pulled and it managed to reboot itself, which is fine by me. I'm not too picky. That is probably also a pumpkin that has managed to root up out of one of the other plants that was, or other pods that is kind of buried right there. These pumpkins here, I need to go through and re-thin a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. I will train them to go that way. Back here, cucumber 1, cucumber 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to thin them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move 2 of those eventually. When they get a little bit bigger, not too much bigger, probably I'm recording this on Friday, probably do that on Monday or Tuesday. I can't tell if that's a pumpkin or if that's something. Pretty sure that's a pumpkin. Yeah, that's almost certainly a pumpkin. So what I'm going to end up with is a lot of, I can't call them weeds because they're pumpkins, but I'm going to end up with a lot of pumpkins in here. But you can see I do have lettuces coming in. And since they're in the correct lines, I know that they're actually lettuces. Mostly. The potatoes. So these both got sprayed down really good with the neem and BT mix. And hopefully they come back. You can still kind of see the glisten on the leaves. But you can also see this one has been badly chewed. So yeah. And the other one is starting to show signs of being chewed. Kind of like right there, on a couple of leaves over in this area, and right there, that batch right there. Yep. So hopefully by spraying it down now, I will prevent it from getting too badly chewed in the future. The wife went to Aldi, let me see, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. And saw this little thing. It was $30. It is about 6 feet tall at the center point there, which means that it is too short for me to stand up in. But it's actually a really nice little starter greenhouse. Lift this up out of the way here. And it works well enough that when we were putting it together on a cloudy day, sitting in here trying to drive down the stakes, kind of see the grommets there, trying to drive down the stakes to make sure it didn't go wet anywhere. It got sweaty in there just by being in it. So it works pretty decently. It's going to be a pretty good place to get some starts going. And as you can see, technically 3 shelves and a bottom area there. I don't think I'm going to ever use the bottom area, just because it is directly on the ground. But it'll be a good place to overwinter some of the plants that I have a harder time overwintering. Actually, any plants that I'm trying to overwinter, to be entirely honest. So on the warm days during the wintertime, I can just come out and open it up. And during the cold nights, just close it up. The blackberry back here. There we go. Lots of little lizard dudes running around in it, but that's okay. I like lizards. As you can see, that spike is trying to get tall. It's already, mid-chest on me, which puts it about 5 foot there. Maybe 5.5. And you can see that one branch that was coming out to the side here, I have now fed over to that area over there, and it is holding position. So I think it's trained. That was one thing that we discovered in the backyard, which is making life slightly more complicated. Keep this open. Oh, this gate's old. Needs to be replaced. First off, the asparagus doesn't look great. It kind of got beat up when we pulled the horse herb out of this area, and you can kind of see this right here is another blackberry. But, you know, asparagus frond here, doing okay. Blackberry I threw through the fence to try to hold it in place. And much finer fronds, but they are fronds right in here. And frond back here. Yeah, it's still hanging on. But the reason why I bring it back here is that we discovered, so I've been looking out the back window of my house for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months actually, and I'd seen vines hanging off of the fence, and I was like, well, I don't really care about too much for vines hanging off the back of my fence. So I came out here to try to trim them up, and I started looking at them, and I've cleared most of them out, I think. I kind of hope I got all of them, but I don't think I did actually. And I'll have to come back here and just spray anti-vine stuff regularly. Nope, definitely didn't get it all. Because here's some right here. This is a dreaded vine and hated, and I don't dare get too much closer to it. Fortunately, I'm not allergic to it. But, you know, even though I'm not sensitive to it, I still can be affected by it. That's poison ivy. That is poison ivy, and because we now know what that was and what that is, you can see a big old mass of it I've pulled out already. You pull it out, you let it cook basically in its own stews, and then you throw it away because you don't move it around while it's still active. Yeah, we got 2 little boys, 4 and 6, and they like to come back and play in this area right here, all over here, and they were coming in, and they had this rash that just kept popping up and kept popping up and kept popping up, and it was a fairly new thing since the isolation started. So now we know what causes the rash. Yeah, I'm having to wait until I get my federal stimulus money, but that's getting doused. It's just getting doused with. Oh yeah, now that I look at this plant right here, that's ivy too. Yeah. But other than that, things are actually going pretty well. Garden is growing in fairly well, and we're hoping to see some sort of a harvest of spinach, lettuce, turnip, and beet greens. I'm not too worried about getting actually beets or turnips or anything like that, any of the bulbs, just greens for now. And hope you all stay healthy. Talk to you later.